எங்கள் தேசம் இந்தியா 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 எங்கள் தேசம் இந்தியா வருஷமெல்லாம் பூக்கள் பூக்கும் வசந்த தேசம் இந்தியா 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 கோடுகளால் வரைகின்ற தேசமல்ல இந்தியா கொள்கைகளால் வரைகின்ற தேசமடா இந்தியா மூன்று பக்கம் கடல் கொண்ட தேசமல்ல இந்தியா நான்கு பக்கம் புகழ் கொண்ட தேசமடா இந்தியா.
To each one of you, to the Inter-School Youth Parliament 2025. To begin this meaningful occasion, let us honor our roots and heritage. As I kindly request everyone to rise for Tamil Thai Vartha.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் எக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you. Please be seated.
To formally commence this significant gathering, I now invite Dr. Yam Gnana Pandithan, who serves in the dual role of Principal and Managing Director, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. Solal Valan, Sorvilan, Anjan Avanai, Igal Vellal Yarkum Aridu, says a Tirukural. One of the very profound Tirukurals, which I feel would aptly suit this forum. Let me decode this for you. Solal Valan, somebody who is good in articulating what they think and what they want to say. They might know a lot of things, but someone who is good in telling it or in articulating it in the way that others are able to understand and accept, such a person is called Solal Valan. Sorvilan, somebody who is not tired. Tired of what? Tired of not making enough attempts to ensure what he wants to say reaches the people. You keep trying again and again, redefining the way you say and keep telling in the way that it reaches finally. Such as Sorvilan. Anjan. Anjan is somebody who is not afraid. Somebody who is courageous. Courageous of what? Courageous of telling in a forum where you have people ready to catch hold of you when you are wrong. Courage to tell the people who are diametrically opposite to your views. Courageously telling in a forum where intellectuals are scrutinizing what you say. So somebody who is a Solal Valan, Sorvilan, Anjan. Somebody who is good in articulation, somebody who is not worried about the amount of attempts to make or the various ways to tell, and somebody who doesn't scare to tell what is right to a forum where it can be filled with intellectuals, filled with critics, and still go ahead. Such a person is someone very hard to defeat. Sorvilan avanai igal vellal yarkum aridu. It is very difficult to defeat such a person. Very, very difficult to defeat such a person. Why did I say this? Today, we are celebrating the International Day of Democracy. Of various forms of governance the world has seen so far, the best and the most settled form of governance is democracy. A few we would have learnt in our history lessons, and a few we are hearing when mishaps and misadventures happens around the world. Monarchy, all of us know, we are not new. India was filled with a lot of monarchs some point of time. The kings ruling and their family continue to rule. There, the ruler is a supreme, and anyone will abide by what the ruler says. If you are against the ruler, you're done. Absolutely, there is no right for a citizen. Dictatorship, or you can call it as dictatorship, where the ruler is a dictator, somebody who usurps power, somebody who comes to power and doesn't allow anybody else other than himself to decide how to run the country or how to govern a nation. That is dictatorship. Next comes theocracy. The religious heads ruling the country, religious heads telling how a country has to be ruled. Then there is another form of government, oligarchy. Oligarchy is something where a group of people, maybe wealthy people or people of a particular class, people of a particular region or people of a particular aristocracy, they all join together and run the government. And out of all these the world has seen, the best is democracy. The reason is, in democracy, the ruler is getting power from the people. And the ruler is there in the power for the people. And the ruler has come to power by the people. Today, the world has got maximum countries governed in the form of democracy, and we are all proud India is the largest democracy of the world. With the amount of population going to vote and elect their leaders, India is the largest and the biggest democracy of the world. And why democracy? In democracy, as I said, it is a ruler who gets power from the people. When the people gives the power, anytime the people wish the power is not well utilized by the ruler, they are taken out or thrown out. So all we know is elections, voting. When elections and voting are one form of making a ruler or one form of democracy, the major part of democracy is the functioning of a parliament. The functioning of a parliament. In democracy, parliament is considered as the temple of democracy. Parliament is a temple. You elect the rulers, and what do the rulers do? They come to parliament, and the elected representatives of the people come to the parliament. They sit together, they follow the 3 Ds. Dialogue, 1 D is dialogue, the other D is debate, and the other D is decision. Dialogue is they utilize the freedom of expression. One of the basic function or a basic right a democracy has offered is to speak, the freedom of expression. Every citizen of this country has got something to say, and the representative of this country or the citizens, they go to the parliament and speak for that person. Speak without any fear, speak without any hesitation, speak without any kind of inhibition, because the constitution, the democracy gives you the freedom to express. Debate, just because I've got a thought, it doesn't mean that that alone will prevail. I can ask somebody's view. I can ask what are the other views from the others. So there is a debate going on, my view, your view, our view. Finally, the best of the debate comes out. We arrive to the last D, that is decision making. In democracy, decision is not by an individual, it is a collective decision. And all these 3 Ds, dialogues, debate, and decision is taken in this temple of learning. What is this temple of learning? Parliament. It is in this temple of learning the democracy functions. The democracy is taken care or protected in this very temple of democracy. Now, out of all the forms of, I said democracy is the best form of governance. The reason is the right of human is well protected only in democracy. In all other forms of government, the rights of citizen are compromised here and there. Only in democracy, the rights of a citizen, rights of the people, or the welfare of the people is taken care. Today, to celebrate this democracy or celebrate this day of democracy in our school, in Agaram Public School, we have called for a model youth parliament. So this is an event which has been happening in our school for the last 2 years, and this is the third year. So last 2 years we did it at a school level, and this year we want to take it a little wider. That's why we invited the schools of this Coimbatore, Erode and all this region. Though our invitation was quite late because it was a decision taken in the last minute to include the other schools, I'm so thankful, immensely grateful to the institutions which have turned up, because we thought 50% of the member of the youth parliament will be from our school and the 50% will be from the other school, and we reached that 50% in no time. Within 2 days of opening the slot, we got calls from all the schools and there was a big confirmation. I'm grateful at this moment to all the schools who have sent their representative, starting from People Prodigy School, Coimbatore. Please give them a good round of applause to the participants who have come from. Perks School, Perks International School, Coimbatore. Nachiyamal Vidyavani School from Tirupur. Palniyappa International School from Avinashi. RD International School from Erode. Waldragate Vidyalaya from Tiruchengodu, that is Namakkal districts. In 3 days' time, we received more than 30 participants from 4 districts. Tirupur, Erode, Coimbatore, Namakkal. Such is the response, or such is the waiting, or such is the opportunity the student fraternity and the schools were looking forward to take part or to express themselves or to find their feet in forums like this. And we are immensely thankful to all the schools for sending their representative. Why youth parliament? Why should you all be sitting here? Why should you take part? Why are these children sitting here to witness this youth parliament? This youth parliament is a miniature of a democracy. How the democracy functions, this youth parliament will demonstrate how it is functioning. You all see first-hand knowledge, you all get a first-hand knowledge about how a democracy functions. Your first time, the subjects come out of your textbooks and it is seeing a real-time example. You all study about democracy right from your 6th standard or right from your 4th standard, 5th standard. You are going to see democracy in action today. So you got a splendid opportunity to take part and have a first-hand knowledge about the way democracy functions. And very important, when you participate in events like this, you understand and start respecting and start accepting for anything there can be divergent views. It is not always your view. For anything, there are going to be multiple views. There are going to be views from every quarters. Through participation of youth parliament, you start appreciating that the world is much richer when you get to know various views of the people. So that is another key learning. And more important, you're going to develop your critical thinking, because anything that is framed or passed as a law, so long you are just taking it or you are ignoring it. From this moment onwards, from the time you have taken part in this youth parliament, when you started preparing for it, you have understood how not to see anything just like that. You have been trained, you have been simulated, you have been introduced to a way of critically thinking about anything, analyzing about anything. You're going to view the various policies of the governments, various laws of the government in a critical view, or in a view that is no more just a passive acceptance. These are all some of the skills or some of the benefits parliamentarians or the youth parliamentarians get by taking part in youth parliament, and also the onlookers or the audience who are witnessing. They are also going to get to see how the laws are made in the country, how policies are debated, how divergent views are debated and discussed, and how a decision is arrived with decorum, with respect for one another, and that is what is youth parliament to school. On this occasion, we are glad at Agaram Public School that we are celebrating the International Day of Democracy the most fitting way. It is not just reading or knowing about the International Day of Democracy. We are celebrating it with real examples, with a real run of a parliament. And this parliament, youth parliament, whatever we are doing, it is not only for observing. Each participant here is going to get a certificate issued by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. The entire proceedings are recorded live, and it is going live in YouTube. The video is going to be posted in the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. They will take their time to go through, and after seeing that we have done this as per the protocol of the Parliament of India, they will accept this particular episode of us, and each student who has participated will receive a certificate on their personal name by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. So this will be like an additional feather in your cap. You can take it with you for your interviews, you can take it for your higher studies. You can claim that you are not just a passive citizen of this country, instead you are an active citizen of this country. So these are all the takeaways for all the participants. I take this opportunity to welcome all the faculty friends from the participating schools of Perks, Palniyappa, or People Prodigy, Nachiyamal Vidyavani, and Waldergate Vidyalaya, RD International School, and Agaram Public School, and the young parliamentarians who are the future hope of this country. You are no more a passive citizen, you are going to be an active citizen, because at this age, at this part of your life, this phase of your life, you have set your eyes on the government policies. Not only set your eyes, you are going to threadbare discuss. This particular habit is going to come a long way in your life, and you are also going to present your views in a way that is convincing others. These skills will stand as a testament to your leadership qualities, and you will become a better leader and a better citizen. We welcome each one of you for this third edition of Youth Parliament held at Agaram Public School, and also the audience of this event, the students of Agaram Public School from class 6 to class 9, who will be one day coming and sitting here, taking inspiration from what you do here, so that they also get to know how democracy functions and how they also learn all the other leadership qualities. Before I wind up, I want to just insist on one thing. Any discussion in a parliament setup will follow its protocol. I'm sure the event coordinator, Mr. Shyam Sundar, who has been instrumental in organizing the entire event, would have briefed you enough through the online sessions and also in person. We pray and we hope you have taken it deeply inside you, and you will exhibit the finest quality of an active citizen of this country. Wishing you all the very best, and may this journey continue in your life so that you become a better person, better citizen, and one of the best leaders of this country. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
With all our esteemed parliamentarians now seated and the chamber prepared, it is time to welcome the presiding authority of this session. May I now respectfully invite the Honorable Speaker to take the chair and preside over the proceedings of the third Youth Parliament session.
The backdrop of recent national and international developments. First, I wish to acknowledge and commend the extraordinary bravery of our armed forces in the successful execution of Operation Sindoor. Their courage, skill, and unwavering dedication to the nation's security are a shining example of India's valor and resilience. Today, as we gather in this august house, we not only salute to the defenders of our homeland, but also collectively reaffirm our responsibility to strengthen and support the nation in every possible way. At the same time, India continues to assert its economic strength on the global stage with rapid growth in Q1, reflecting the innovation and indomitable spirit of our people. In this session, our journey of development, infrastructure expansion, and social welfare continues alongside our security imperatives, reflecting that India is a country that is both strong and compassionate, courageous and visionary. In this session, members will deliberate on critical issues ranging from national security and economic development to social progress, reinforcing our commitment to the welfare of our people and the prosperity of our nation. I urge every member across party lines to engage with utmost dedication, responsibility and foresight as we collectively shape the path to a proud, strong and sovereign India. Let this session reflect the unity of purpose, the vigor of debate and the spirit of patriotism that define our democracy. May our deliberations honor the valor of our armed forces, the aspirations of our citizens, and the promise of a greater nation. I once again extend my warm welcome to all honorable members. Let us embark on this session with renewed commitment, wisdom, and dedication to India's security and prosperity. Now, I would like to call the Prime Minister, Shri Arish, to address the gathering.
Speaker, respected members, and my dear countrymen, today I address you at a historic moment when the world witnesses the indomitable spirit, unmatched courage, and unstoppable rise of Bharat. The past weeks have been a testament to two unassailable truths. India will never bow to terrorism, and India will never compromise in its march towards greatness. I speak to you at a moment of destiny, at a moment when the world has seen the true measure of Bharat, a nation of unmatched valor, unshakable will, and unstoppable rise. Operation Sindoor has shown the iron of India. It has carved itself deep inside the heart of Pakistan, that no terror in Pakistan can withstand India's fury. Struck back with thunder. Our brave soldiers crossed the skies. Our missiles pierced the fortresses of terror, and the world watched as the sanctuaries of Pahalwapur and Murike, universities of global terrorism, were reduced to ashes. Over 100 rated terrorists were eliminated at a single strike. Operation Sindoor, this is not just a military operation. This is a message from India. A message to the terrorists, your time is over. A message to the sponsors, your masks are off. And a message to the world, India doesn't live in fear. India makes fear live in others. Let it be remembered for generations, Operation Sindoor is no ordinary operation. It is the dawn of a new doctrine. India will never tolerate terrorism. India will never bow to nuclear blackmail, and India will never ever forgive the attacks on her daughters, her sons and her soil. Let us also hail the courage of our armed forces, our brave soldiers, air warriors and naval knights. Each operation, each strike, each sacrifice speaks of the valor and patriotism of the Indian armed forces. They did not just destroy terror. They demonstrated to the world India's supremacy in 21st century warfare, showcasing made in India defense capabilities to the world. From mountains to deserts, the Indian Armed Forces have shown that no enemy can withstand our courage and no border can contain our determination. At the very same time, the nation has been lifted up by another triumph, the triumph of growth. While our soldiers struck down terror, our people lifted the economy. In the first quarter of 2025, India registered a remarkable 7.8% growth in GDP, the highest among all major economies. I repeat, the highest among all major economies. Our services soared at 9.3%, our industries at 7.7%, our farms flourished, inflation eased, and jobs surged. This is not just a victory for India. This is the victory for the world. And these two victories are not separate. Military and economic, they are one. The plow and the sword, the market and the missile, the farmer in the field and the soldier at the border, the coder in Bengaluru and the sailor in the navy. They all serve the same Bharat Mata. And together they proclaim, this is the era of Indian supremacy. My fellow citizens, the modern world is torn with war, economic uncertainty and conflict. In this storm, India stands as the anchor of stability and lighthouse of hope. We are not just the fastest growing major economy, we are also the fastest rising superpower. By 2030, India will be the third largest economy, and by 2047, India will be the Viksit Bharat our freedom fighters dreamed of. This is the new India, an India that crushes terror with iron fist, an India that powers global growth, an India that offers peace but wields strength, an India that is self-reliant, self-confident and supreme. To our friends across the world, we say, walk with India and we will walk with prosperity, peace and progress. To our adversaries, we want. The people of India want. Test India and you will face the fury of a nation that bows to none. And to every Indian citizen, today I say, hold your heads high, for you are the child of a nation that no force on earth can subdue. This is Bharat, the land of vision, valor, victory. This is Bharat, the nation that protects its people and powers global growth. This is Bharat, the rising sun of 21st century. Let us move together with courage, with pride and with unity. 21st century is not just an opportunity for India. It is the century of India. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.
Now, I would like to call Leader of Opposition, Srimati Yashika Selvi, to address the gathering.
Honorable Speaker, respected members of this Parliament, we meet in this session at a time when our nation feels both pride and pain. Pride because Operation Sindoor has once again illuminated the courage of our armed forces. Their precision, courage and sacrifice remind us that India's sovereignty lies in safe hands. To them, the opposition and indeed the entire nation bows in gratitude. But beyond the battlefront lies another battlefield, one fought daily in homes, streets and fields of our people. And here, Honorable Speaker, the concerns are grave and the demand our immediate attention. Inflation continues to tighten its grip. The price of essential commodities from food grains to fuel burdens the common family. For millions, each day not begins with hope, but with anxiety of how to stretch a meager income against this ever-rising cost of living. Women, the safety of our society. still walk in fear. From villages to cities, the question of dignity and safety remains unanswered. Without considering these concerns, the journey towards the progress remains incomplete. And our federal fabric too shows the significance of strain. States demand greater fiscal autonomy, yet find themselves being constrained. The true strength of India lies in empowering every region, not in centralizing every decision. And as we march forward, the climate change and environmental degradation shadow. Floods, droughts, and extreme weather. Development without sustainability not only endangers the economy, but also affects the very survival of the future generation. Let this monsoon session be more than a ritual. Let it be remembered as a moment, a time when this house rose to defy all the hard truths, to give voice to voiceless, and to place the welfare of the people above all else. Jai Hind.
Member to take the oath or affirmation. Secretary General, please.
Abhinav, who stands elected from the Idukki constituency of Kerala, will now take the oath or affirmation. Do you want to take the oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
English, please. Abhinav, having been elected a member of the lower house of the Youth Parliament, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India. As by the law established, I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge from the job I am about to enter.
Srimati Riya, who stands elected from the Tirupur constituency of Tamil Nadu, will now take the oath or affirmation. Do you want to take the oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
Tamil, please. ஸ்ரீமதி ரியா ஆகிய நான் இளைஞர் பாராளுமன்றத்தின் கீழ் சபை உறுப்பினராக தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்ட பிறகு சட்டப்படி இந்திய அரசியலமைப்பின் மீது உண்மையான நம்பிக்கையையும் விசுவாசத்தையும் கொண்டிருப்பேன். நாட்டு இறையாண்மையும் ஒருமைப்பாட்டையும் நிலைநிறுத்துவேன். எல்லாம் வல்ல இறைவனின் அருளால் இந்திய திருநாட்டில் நான் ஆற்றவிருக்கும் கடமையை கண்ணியம் தவறாமல் நேர்மையான முறையில் நிறைவேற்றுவேன் என்று உறுதியளிக்கிறேன்.
Srimat Akul, who stands elected from the Meerut constituency of Uttar Pradesh, will now take the oath or affirmation. Do you want to take the oath or affirmation?
मैं अकुल युवा संसद के निचले सदन का सदस्य चुने जाने पर मैं ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं कानून द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची आस्था और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं ईश्वर की संप्रभुता और अखंडता बनाए रखूंगा। मैं भारत का कर्तव्य और जिस कर्तव्य में प्रवेश कर रहा हूँ उसका निष्ठापूर्वक पालन करूंगा।
Prime Minister to introduce the new ministers.
Madam Speaker, I am pleased to introduce to you and through you to the House my colleagues, the new ministers. Srimati Anuprabha, Minister of Women and Child Development. Srimati Tanishka, Minister of State Renewable Energy.
Question hour starts. Question number 101, Shri Pooja Anantaraman.
Honorable Speaker and respected Parliament members, over time a lot has changed. AI has taken over and our economy has been rapidly growing. But there lies the freedom of women, still as a bark of a tree. Over a decade or so, statistics has shown that there has been an increasing amount of crime against women. It has increased from 57% to 67% in just the span of 2 years. Despite having so many female MLAs across India, there has been no crime committed against women that has been spoken. Despite introducing schemes like Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao and Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, why has there been no decline in the crime committed against women? The ruling party has failed to keep their promise, like strengthening the police and security forces for women's protection. The ruling party has collapsed in being a democratic government. The rate now stands at 66.4 lakh per population, with the capital Delhi standing at 144.4 lakh per population. So my question is, the government claims to be tough on crimes. Why does this toughness disappear when it comes to crimes against women? My second question will be, how can the government defend the absence of prompt justice at instances like violence against women, where legal proceedings frequently extend over years?
Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development.
Honorable Speaker, respected members, thank you for raising such an important concern. As the Minister of Women and Child Development, I rise here not just with responsibility but with a mission which ensures each and every child and woman in our nation is respected, protected and empowered. We can't call ourselves as a truly developed nation until our women walk without fear and our child grow without limits. As the ruling party, we recognize that each and every crimes against women are deeply troubling and that cannot be ignored. We believe that every woman deserves to live with dignity, safety and freedom. Our government has taken multiple steps to address this, including strengthening laws, 24/7 women helpline, police sensitization and educational campaigning. We promote awareness to schools, colleges and communities to change the mindset that leads to such crime. We are not just stopping over here. Our government believes that empowerment is not just about protection, but it is just giving about opportunities, protection and voice. We are not just reacting for the crimes. Instead, we are building a future where these don't happen.
Srimati Lohita Lakshmi Velanki.
Honorable Speaker and respected members of the Parliament, this government have already maintained a zero tolerance policy across the crimes happening in our country, including the crimes against women. It would be unfair to say that our laws are not tough. It would be unfair. In fact, only under our government, the laws have been strengthened and stringent policies have been addressed to change this. We have launched several initiatives such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao movement and the Nirbhaya Fund have been expanded to not just secure every woman, but to just give them assurance that living in India is a protection for them. Protecting every woman is a right. And it is true that legal proceedings sometimes takes time, but it does not mean that it is a factor that is affecting the government. It is a structural challenge that this government is addressing. As well as thousands of women help desks are arranged not just to secure them, but to just give them assurance that this is what India is. Many forensic infrastructures are being developed. For what? For giving the collection of evidences as soon as possible for the victims affected. Honorable Speaker, justice delayed is justice denied. That is why this government is committed making justice not only accessible, but providing every woman with justice living in our country. And protecting the dignity and safety of women is not just a responsibility of the government. It is a collective national duty that each one of us are responsible of. And this government is in front to take this commitment to stand in front of and speak about this issue. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next question. Question number 102, Srimati Lakshita.
Honorable Speaker, while we respect government's efforts, and it is our duty to question that in what ways government is planning to ensure safety and ensure Kashmir remains a safer travel destination after this tragic Pahalgam attack. Will there be any special insurance or safety schemes for the travelers in sensitive regions? Honorable Speaker, I would also like to raise a question to respected Home Minister who is entrusted with the work of safeguarding the nation's internal security in how that the government is addressing the internal security and assure the people the safety. What steps are being taken to educate the youth about the nation's security concerns and address cyber radicalization?
Honorable Minister of Home Affairs.
Speaker and the members, deeply saddened by the Pahalgam attack that took place on 22nd April 2025. There were 26 innocent people brutally killed. The motive of the attack was to completely destroy the peace and the tourism of Kashmir that had been playing a significant role in its state's GDP. Before the attack, Kashmir was experiencing a record-breaking surge of over 1.25 million visitors arriving Kashmir just in the first 5 months of 2024. After the attack, the government had taken every single step to revive Kashmir. It has increased the ground security and has reopened 16 tourist destinations, 8 in Kashmir and 8 in Jammu, that had been closed since the attack. And it had gone through all the safety assessments, and there are no-fly zones declared in the routes of Amarnath Yatra, a major pilgrimage. And our respected Prime Minister has inaugurated infrastructural projects to show development over those areas. Kashmir is slowly reviving. The cyber radicalization of youth, which often fuels these terror groups, are addressed by setting up cyber cells. And there is a track on radical propaganda on social media. There are legal actions taken on online contents that promote terrorism under the IT Act Section 69A and IT rules. There are counseling sessions given by the NGOs and other civil society groups. Therefore, the Indian government will continue to work to revive Kashmir and will always stand for the Indian people. Jai Hind.
Srimati Vipraja Shakti.
Honorable Speaker and respected members of this House, the Pahalgam attack of April 2025 is a painful reminder of the threats we face. This reminds us that terrorism is driven not only by the weapons across the borders but also by cyber radicalization. With over 820 million of internet users, India's youth are facing extremist propaganda. The government has blocked over 1.6 million malicious social media handles through Swachh Bharat Cyber and cybercrime units in all states and union territories. While awareness programs are being conducted in schools and colleges to teach students how to detect fake news and escape radicalization. Jammu Kashmir welcomes over 2 crore tourists, including 3.5 lakh Amarnath pilgrims. To ensure the safety of the tourists, tourist police, CCTV networks and enhanced patrolling have been deployed, and the insurance, that is a special insurance covering accidents and medical evacuation and compensation for sensitive regions, are being debated. Over 40 lakh students in NCC and NSS are being trained for digital literacy, critical thinking and community peace work under the National Educational Policy of 2020. We ensure that our youths grow resilience against the misinformation and contribute to our economy and harmony too. Honorable Speaker and respected members, our approach is clear. We'll fight cyber radicalization with technology and protect our travelers with strong safety nets, and educate our youth with knowledge and peace values. Let me say this in the ending.
Each step we take, each scheme we launch is a tribute to the 26 innocent lives lost in the Pahalgam. We will not let any terror shake our democracy, our unity and our future even. Jai Hind.
Is violating the parliamentary protocol by reading newspaper.
Shri Guhan, kindly follow the parliamentary protocol. Next question. Question number 103, Shri Akash.
I rise today as the member of opposition to raise a serious and pressing concern about the direction of our development policies. My question is to the Honorable Minister of Environment and Infrastructure. It is true that infrastructure development such as building highways, smart cities, airports and industrial corridors plays a vital role in nation's growth. It boosts connectivity, creates jobs and strengthens the economy. Time and again, we have seen that rapid infrastructural expansion comes with heavy environmental price. Forests are being cleared to make way for roads and buildings. Wetlands are being drained. Rivers are being diverted. As a result, we are witnessing the rising pollution levels, frequent floods, extreme weather events and the loss of biodiversity.
Honorable Speaker, question hour is only for asking questions, not for discussion.
Shri Akash, please frame your query as a question.
What step is the government taking to ensure that infrastructure development is not at the cost of environmental sustainability? Is there any policy? Is there any policy in places to assess and mitigate environmental damage before approving large-scale projects? Are the local communities and environmental experts being consulted during planning stages?
Honorable Minister of Environment.
As a young nation, we dream of bigger highways, faster metros and shining cities. But let's ask ourselves, what is the use of tall buildings if the air around them is not unbreathable? What are the uses of the industries if the river is dried out? Infrastructure is very important. It is. But if it comes at the cost of our environment, we are destructing it by ourselves. As the Minister of Environment, I stand here with simple belief that development and environment must go hand in hand. Our government is against the development, but we are against the blind growth of our development. And to my youth, I say this, that the environment is the textbook of the chapter. It is our future. Every sapling we plant, every drop of water we save, every plastic bag we refuse, it all counts, because development is not truly development if it steals tomorrow from our children. Let's build a country that is modern but also mindful. So our government has made it clear that development cannot come at the cost of destruction, because every major project now goes through a strict environment impact assessment, and we ensure technologies that are integrated into highways, buildings and industries. We have introduced policies for green corridors, afforestation along roads, renewable energy integration and stronger waste management systems. We are building responsibility in our environment, which we are developing. Our government believes that people live closest to nature understands it the best. That's why we public consult with local communities. NGOs and environmental experts are now part of the process. This ensures the development not just top down but also inclusive, respecting both scientific expertise and community wisdom. Thank you.
Shri S.M. Mohammad Afraz.
Honorable Speaker and the respected members. Our government are always recognizing the critical needs of improving the environmental sustainability and also the infrastructural development with various rules and regulations. We have also initiated several initiatives like the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, which brings together several ministries together so that we could get their description and their comments about that specific infrastructural plan. We have also initiated several national level schemes and national level policies regarding environmental consideration purposes. And our government also promotes the usage of environmental construction products so that it gives an eco-friendly, sustainable energy to the environment. We have created several green organizations like the Green Habitual Integrated Assessment Organization, which creates a graphical representation of the total environmental performance of that specific infrastructure to the environment. It can also calculate the amount of natural energy to be required for the construction and the usage of the specific infrastructure. And our ruling party, we are really proud to say that we have made the world's first solar powered airport out there in Cochin, which is also the world's first airport to be renewable powered. It is a great achievement for us, and we would like to make some future announcements. We are trying to convert the whole Indian subcontinent from a carbon using country to an electrical country, in which we call it as the 100% electrification plan. Yes, of course, there are several schemes and policies regarding the environment. Some common examples are the Forest Conservation Act passed in 1980 by the Ministry of Habitual Forest and Climatic Change, which played a central role on passing this very act. The Forest Conservation Act clearly states that any use of the forestry land for non-forestry purposes should get a prior permission from the central government and also should compensate the laws with the process of afforestation. And I would love to talk about a judicial body that was a great relief for us in the environment, NGT, National Green Tribunal, established in 2010. It is a judicial body that helped us to point out the impact and the consequences that specific infrastructure had done to the environment. Yes, it is also a mandatory part to consult with an environment experts or the local communities so that we could get their description and their ideas about that specific infrastructure. It is also a compulsory part to consult with an environment expert or academics so that we could calculate the amount of natural energy to be required and most importantly to mitigate the consequences and the impacts that specific infrastructure might do to the environment in the future. Some notable examples are the Hirakud Dam construction in Karnataka, in which 22,000 families were displaced due to the dam construction for the people's own need. To be more specific, over 150,000 people. Thank you.
Let's move on to the next question. Question number 104, Shri Guhan.
Honorable Speaker, will the Minister of Road Transport and Highways be pleased to state whether the government launched an asset monetization plan to draw private investment in road infrastructure? If so, what are the key models and instruments involved? Further, we would like to know what is the capital raised by National Highways Authority of India through various monetization tools, the newly identified and categorized assets, and the total length of highways monetized under National Monetization Pipeline, and also the steps undertaken to ensure transparency, investor confidence, and market development for the successful implementation of this asset monetization strategy.
Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways.
Speaker, the Indian government by the NHI has formulated monetization strategies for June 2025. It uses TOT, Toll Operator Transfers, and NIVTs, which is Infrastructure Trust and Securitizations. Through the tools, we aim to unlock the total potential of the existing national highways and also aligned with the National Monetization Pipeline of 2025 to 2030. And the track records, it's very good to hear about those things. The steps taken by us as bright as a sun but not meritorious as a moon, and the sun shines as shown. The National Highway Authority of India has monetized over 6,400 kilometers of the roads and has asserted over 1.5 lakh crores in the rupees for this asset. And the next thing is, and the tools which will be bringing attraction for the private investment into these programs or TOT, INVTs and also the securitization. Let me repeat another thing again. TOTs has been segregated into 3 types: small bundle, medium bundle, large bundles. And the small bundle consists of 2000 crore projects and medium bundle consists of 5000 crore projects and the large bundle consists of 9000 crore projects. And there's also capped risk in these things. For example, the government will bear the traffic risks and it also collect the money for those things. And let me end my speech with this thing. The British says that the sun never sets in the glorious empire of the Britain. It's false, they itself know, because the God couldn't trust English in the dark. Let me say a real quote. The National Highway Authority of India will never lead to a dead end. Thank you.
Next question. Question number 105, Srimati Ashwita.
Madam Speaker, will the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas be pleased to state the increase in the price of petrol and diesel for each of the last 5 years and the current year state-wise? Whether the government has carried out any study or assessment of the economic impact of increasing of consumers, particularly the poor and the middle class consumers, and if so, the details thereof. Whether the government proposes to reduce the taxes levied by the union and the state government to check the retail prices of petrol and diesel, and if so, the details thereof. And whether the government proposes to implement any new strategy or scheme to promote the alternative energy sources like electric vehicles, ethanols, biofuels, etc. And if so, the details thereof.
Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Srimati Isha.
Honorable Speaker and respected members of the Parliament, fuel is something that Indians look more closely than the cricket scores, and we know how essential it is for our economy. The prices of the fuel have been increased, that is true, but we have created alternatives like E20 fuel, which is a blend of 20% ethanol and 80% of petroleum. This has created a revolution in the fuel industry. It has created many job opportunities as well as economical benefits. It has reduced over rupees 1.36 lakh crore rupees by just saving the crude oil import. And also it has created employments for the youth by creating green jobs. Not just that, environmentally it has reduced the carbon monoxide emission by 80% and also reduced the carbon dioxide emission by up to 698 lakh crore tons. And regarding the price of this the price of this E20 will be reduced as there will be scale in the production. And this is a big revolution, and also this has been implemented 5 years ahead of the schedule. Thank you.
Srimati Nagasa Isha.
Petrol and diesel prices in the country are influenced by the cost of crude oil, taxes imposed by the government, geopolitical hindrances, refining costs, and various other reasons. Now, I will present a summary of the petrol and diesel price increase over the past 5 years from 2020 to 2025. So Delhi saw an increase of 17.8% in petrol and 19.2% in diesel. Maharashtra saw an increase of 17.6% in diesel and 29.76% in petrol. Tamil Nadu saw an increase of 18.6% in petrol and 24.7% in diesel. Telangana 34.33% and 28.39%. West Bengal saw both 24% increase in petrol and diesel. And Andhra Pradesh saw the most percentage of increase in the whole country, which is 36.85% and 19.2%. The government regularly studies the impacts of rising fuel costs, especially on the lower and the middle class people. So the following are the effects: reduced disposable income and higher cost of living, economic pressure on the household, and contribution to inflation, making consumers vulnerable. The government has repeatedly reduced excise taxes, urged states to cut VAT, and also is considering GST reforms. These steps will ensure long-term energy security, reduced import dependency, and a sustainable future for the citizens. While prices have seen fluctuations over the past 5 years, the government has constantly strived to ensure an uninterrupted supply of fuel, even in international crises such as the COVID-19 pandemic and energy shocks. Even in reducing dependence on fossil fuels and promoting alternative energy sources is the core priority of our government. Here are some initiatives which are underway. EBP, Ethanol Blended Petrol Program. The government increased the ethanol blending target by 20% by 2025. National Bioenergy Mission supports biofuel manufacturers in India and provides substantial financial incentives for companies producing biofuels. Promotion of EVs and other renewables. The government policies encourage EV adoptions, incentives for EV manufacturers, sales, and infrastructure development. The government pushes the use of CNG and LNG and also supports hydrogen research. Thank you.
Srimati Pritika.
Serious breach of privilege has been committed by the leader, newspaper of Delhi. While commenting on the recommendations of Public Accounts Committee, the paper has attributed dishonest motives, and I have requested you to allow me to raise a question at that matter now.
Srimati Pritika, have you given notice of it earlier?
I have already given notice of 10 a.m. today.
It shall be considered when it comes to me. Now papers to be laid. Honorable Minister of Steel and Mines, Srimati Dhanushri.
Honorable Speaker, with your permission, I would like to lay down the following. Review by the government of the working of the Steel Authority of India Limited, New Delhi for the year 2022 to 2023. Annual report of the Steel Authority of India Limited for the year 2022 to 2023, along with audited accounts and comments of the Comptroller and Auditor General thereon. Next, Memorandum of Understanding between the Steel Authority of India Limited and the Ministry of Steel for the year 2023 to 2024.
Honorable Minister of Renewable Energy, Sri Srinivas.
Honorable Speaker, I beg you to lay the following reports on the table. First report on identifying industrial sector promising commercialization of solar energy. Second report on solar water heating in Himalayan regions. And last report on Delhi International Renewable Energy Conference.
Honorable Minister of Human Resource Development, Sri Prasanna Karthikeyan.
Honorable Speaker, with your permission, I would like to lay down the following. Report of working groups of subcommittees of National Development Council, report on integrated trend, report on technological missions on oil seeds and pulses.
Secretary to report message from Upper Chamber of Youth Parliament.
Madam, I have to report the following message received from the Secretary of the Upper Chamber of Youth Parliament is that the Bill for Regulation of Sports Bodies 2024, which the government passed in the last section, has been rectified and it is ready to be sent for the President's approval.
Secretary to lay on the table a copy of the bill passed by the Upper Chamber of Youth Parliament.
Madam, I lay on the table of the House the Bill for Regulation of Sports Bodies 2024.
Now, let's take up the calling attention motion. Srimati Nila, please call the attention of the Minister.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I rise to draw the attention of the External Affairs Minister and the Prime Minister towards a matter of urgent public importance: China's unilateral construction of world's largest hydropower dam on the Brahmaputra.
Yes, Minister, please.
China began 510 megawatt Dangmu project and has added others like Jiangsu and Jiacha. Today, it is moving ahead towards the Medog Mega Dam, which is built at the capacity of 60,000 megawatt and at a cost of rupees 1 trillion yuan. 3 times the size of the Three Gorges project. This colossal structure gives China an enormous control over the river's flow even before it reaches Arunachal Pradesh. Experts have warned that the dry season flow to India would decline by up to 80 to 85%, and at the times of sudden releases, it may cause floods in Assam, which lakhs of people are suffering annually. To make the matter even worse, China allowed its hydrological data sharing pact lapse in 2023, leaving India without even any crucial early warning informations. Ma'am, it is merely not about just water. It is about food security, national security, moreover the future of Northeast citizens. Yet, the government remains a passive spectator. India cannot afford silence when its lifeline is controlled upstream. Honorable Minister, what immediate and concrete steps is the government of India taking to safeguard our sovereign rights over this critical transporting construction and to protect the lives, livelihood and the national security of Northeast citizens? Further, how does the government justify its apparent failure to secure any strong binding agreement or effective safeguard against China's unilateral action? Is the government going to remain a passive spectator while China gains unchecked control over one of our most vital natural resources, thereby threatening our environment, economy and national security?
External Affairs Minister to answer the question.
Honorable Speaker, I rise today not only as the Minister of External Affairs, but a proud representative of the government which always put national interest above politics, dialogue over aggression and action over empty slogans. The Honorable Member of Opposition has questioned our government that China is building dam on Brahmaputra. Let me make this very clear, we are not silent, we are strategic. First, our government locked protests with China, demanding transparency and respect for downstream nations like India and Bangladesh. Second, we locked diplomatic protests with China, telling clearly that any action which affects downstream flow, it is unacceptable. Through the level of expert mechanism, we have raised this issue consistently, demanding data, dialogue and transparency. Through our own capabilities, we are planning a major hydropower project such as Siang Upper Multipurpose Project in Arunachal Pradesh. This is not just about power generation. This is about ascertaining our own riparian rights on ecological interest. It is the nature of the opposition party always seeing the ruling parties, its initiatives with a skeptical lens. We know what we have done. Let me bring light on measures taken by us. First, our government has satellite-based monitoring system to track the construction on water level changes on Chinese dam sites. Second, our government agencies are closely analyzing hydrological data, glacial melt patterns and any changes in Brahmaputra's flow across the border. Second, our government has set up real-time river flow monitoring system in northeastern states like Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. Third, our India is building own hydropower project in Arunachal Pradesh. It is Siang Multipurpose Project. It is more than 11,000 megawatts. And they approved 2 more dams on Siang. It is going to build soon. And finally, we are building regional solidarity with countries like Bangladesh while China building dams. India build trust. To my honorable friend in the opposition, I say this. Water diplomacy, it is not a television debate. It is a national security challenge, and this government is meeting it with seriousness and strength it deserves. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Leader of Opposition, Srimati Yashika Selvi.
Honorable members, the Brahmaputra is not an ordinary river. It sustains agriculture, power generation and ecosystems vital to our northeast. Does the Prime Minister know that water security is a national security? If so, why is the timid reliance on the data sharing protocols that China can suspend at will? And the government rhetoric speaks so strong about the resolve, but yet its action reveals only hesitation. Why were the parliament and the affected states kept in dark while China laying one dam after another? This house needs answer, not slogans. The people of India need protection, not platitudes. The nation of 1.4 billion people cannot afford a foreign policy that mistakes a press statement as a strategy. We, the opposition, demand for honesty, urgency and clarity. The Brahmaputra majestic flow cannot be negotiated away, and neither can India's dignity. The government must answer, not someday, but now.
Prime Minister, Shri Arish.
Honorable Speaker, and my dear friends in this sacred house, I rise today to address an issue that my friend, the leader of opposition, has raised. China's construction of dams in the river of Brahmaputra. This house and indeed every citizen of India must know that while we value peaceful coexistence and cooperation, India will never compromise on the security of her waters, her environment or her people. Brahmaputra, it is not just a river. It is the pulse of a north. It is the sacred source of sustenance for millions. Any unilateral act to alter its natural flow is no mere an engineering project. It is an act with deep ecological and strategic consequences. We have conveyed to Beijing in no uncertain terms that the waters of Brahmaputra are not a bargaining chip. They are a part of shared legacy governed by international law, equitable use and transparency. Our government has acted with resolve. We have strengthened our diplomatic channels to ensure that China submits to existing agreements on hydrological water sharing. We have also reinforced our satellite monitoring system and water flow assessments to ensure China doesn't make any abrupt changes, and if so, to act accordingly. The government of India has also accelerated the construction of various river projects in the state of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh to safeguard the interest of lower riparian states. To our people in the northeast, we say, the government of India says that we will stand as a wall of your assurance. Your home, your fisheries, your workplace will never be at the mercy of decisions taken beyond the borders. India believes in dialogue, but dialogue cannot be a cover for domination. Cooperation cannot be a pretext for control. We seek friendship, but remember, Any act of provocation that undermines the sovereign rights of India will never be tolerated and will be met at equal strength. The Brahmaputra will continue to flow as a river of life, not a river of pressure. India's resolve and success is as unyielding as the mighty Himalayas from which Brahmaputra originates. Jai Hind!
Shri Karmugilan.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to add my full support to the Prime Minister's resolute stand. This river is not only the heartbeat of the Northeast, but a national lifeline, and we are united in our duty to protect it. Our scientific institutions are now employing the most advanced technologies to track every change in the water flow with unmatched precision. The government has intensified its work on river linking projects and flood management systems across Assam and Arunachal, ensuring dependable irrigation, clean drinking water, and stable hydropower for millions. And internationally, India is pressing this case on all key platforms, from climate and water security summits to bilateral dialogues, making it clear that unilateral diversion of a shared river will not be tolerated. Local panchayats, state agencies, and youth volunteers are actively involved in the real-time monitoring and data sharing, turning this water security into a truly national movement. These actions, combining cutting-edge technology with strong diplomacy and with the full participation of our citizens, demonstrate beyond a doubt that this government will save every single drop of the Brahmaputra and make it free, powerful, and life-giving for the upcoming generations. Thank you.
Shri Prithvik.
Honorable Speaker and the members of the Parliament, I would like to address the Defence Minister. On July 19, 2025, it's been 2 months since China had officially announced the world's largest dam construction on the Brahmaputra River. I mean our Brahmaputra River. But our nation has not taken any of the measures to stop that. If this project is completed, China could annually produce 300 billion kilowatts of power, which could actually use them to make 13,500 atomic bombs. I repeat, 13,500 atomic bombs. Is our nation going to allow China become the world's largest atomic power with the capacity and the capability to destroy the entire human civilization? If this project is completed, our entire nation would face a severe drought ever recorded in history. And if China decides to open the entire dam because of forest storage, our nation will face a severe flood capable to submerge more than 20 to 30 villages, and it would affect more than hundreds of the villagers who lives near the shores of the Brahmaputra. And once China is capable to destroy India, their first chance will be to attack Arunachal Pradesh. Are we going to let China do that?
Shri Ritik Nathan, Defence Minister.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the leader of the opposition MP for raising the matter of grave national interest on the issue of the China's dam construction on Brahmaputra River. What the opposition MP said is not true. India is continuously taking measures to retard the dam's construction project. First was through the internal debates that was going with the ambits of the external ministries with China's authorities to retard the dam construction. And India undergoes international and regional forums to stop the dam's construction. And also in response to the counter-attack towards the China's dam construction, India had built the largest dam in the Siang River in response to the equalizes the water scarcities caused by the China's dam construction, and also produces a job opportunity towards the people of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, through which the Brahmaputra river flows. And the river and the dam construction provided many job opportunities and as well as equalizes the water scarcity of the people. And through diplomatic alliance with Bangladesh, the strategic rivalry is going up between the China and India on opposing the dam construction.
Next, Srimati Yashika Selvi to call the attention of the Minister.
Madam, I beg to call the attention of Prime Minister on challenges faced by maintaining voters list.
Yes, Minister, please.
I wish to talk about a very serious problem in our democracy, the voters list. It is full of mistakes. And when people's names are missing or misused, the very trust in our election is lost. The voters list is not just a record, but it is the power of a people. I ask this government, I ask it loudly so the nation hears. Why are living Indians being erased from the rolls as though they don't exist? Why must a farmer in Assam or a worker in Delhi run to office from office just to prove that he is alive? Why are full and updated electoral rolls are not published in online or to district by district to every citizen to inspect? Who gains in this chaos? Who gains when genuine voters are remain silent and the phantom voters remains? India's vote is sacred. Will the government able to protect it or hide behind the excuses when democracy itself defrauded?
Prime Minister to answer the question of the opposition.
Honorable Speaker and esteemed members of this House, I rise yet again to address an issue raised by the leader of opposition, the accuracy and sanctity of Indian voter list. The electoral roll is not a mere ledger of names. It is the living covenant between the Indian citizen and Indian democracy. To weaken it is to wound the very soul of our republic. And this government, the democratically elected government of India, will never allow any such act. Bharat, so-called India, is the proud steward of the world's largest democracy. We are called the motherland of democracy. From the mighty Himalayas to the distant Andaman shores, every adult Indian citizen has an equal right to decide the destiny of the nation. This is not a mere privilege from the state. This is the birthright of every citizen earned through the struggles of our freedom fighters. Yet, we face formidable challenges. The vastness of our geography, the diversity of India, and the ceaseless movement of our people. Yet, this government has not deterred. And democracy, as mighty as India, as powerful as India, will never ever bow to logistical chaos or political mischief. The government stands is firm, shoulder to shoulder with the Election Commission of India to fortify the electoral rolls with cutting-edge technology, rigorous verification, and door-to-door verifications. We also secure the registration of voters list to digital platforms, empowering local bodies to conduct door-to-door verifications. Always with the citizens' dignity and privacy at the forefront. Let me be clear. India will protect the sanctity of each and every vote. No political interest, no logistical hurdle will be allowed to dilute the sanctity of our voters list. And this is not merely an administrative commitment. This is a national duty and a sacred trust. To every Indian, I say, your vote is the pulse of our democracy, and that the government of India, elected by the people of India, will guard it with unwavering vigilance. Our democracy is our pride, our promise, and our inheritance to the generations yet unborn. We shall protect it with all the strength of the Indian state and the indomitable spirit of our people. Vande Mataram.
Srimati Sharon Martina.
To the Honorable Speaker and all my fellow parliamentarians. So before just digging into the problem what's happening, let's just see a common thing what's happening in all around the world. What does a country have in common? Social, economical and political issues. So now as an electoral roll issue, now we are going to see all the problems as together as electoral roll issues. So before that, we'll just see what a citizen truly deserves. They deserve what they need, and everything is the true and freedom they need. So before just beginning everything, we'll just see what are the major problems happening in this electoral roll issues. So first major problem is the migrants. So people who migrate from different countries, they just suffer a lot in our country, not only in our country, in a democratic country where they can't find their names in their voter list. Are the voter education campaigns actually been regular? Do anyone know about it? This is not regular actually. So also this electoral roll issue is just small problem when we see it from the outside for the people who are outside. But when we see it of inside, when we get deep inside, what the problem actually matters is everything. Not only a single thing to be complained, but everything. So as a citizens of our country, it's our duty as parliamentarians to make it right. Now here we are not in this house just to say the prove or wrong. We have to make it right and not prove it wrong. And here are my queries to all the honorable ministers and the people who are just listening to it. Rabindranath Tagore once said that where the mind is free, the health is held high, there comes true freedom. Yet the 2024-25 survey says that many of the migrants are being disinfection, where they can't see their voters list and their names in it. So what is the answer for this? And also whether the campaigns of voter education being regularly held, and where is the survey of the money spent? Because again the survey says that it's not been done. According to the survey conducted by ADS and CSDS, 60% of the people's name are not being registered. What is the answer for that? Whether these are conducted as seasonal campaigns or the democratic responsibilities?
Shri Gopinath.
Honorable Speaker, in a country like India with vast population and high migration, nearly 40% of the people are disenfranchised. To fix this, we have introduced easy re-registration on National Voter Service Portal (NVSP), migrant voter facilitation camps and pilot projects like remote voting missions. So, migration will never silence a citizen's voice in India. Secondly, One Nation, One Voter ID is under serious consideration. Already, 94% of electors are Aadhaar linked, creating a uniform base. At the same time, remote e-voting pilots are tested so migrants can vote from anywhere around the world. Honorable Speaker, as of the words of the opposition MP, the ADR and CSDS shows 65% of the youth lack awareness. Under sweep, we held 1.2 lakh campaigns in 2024-25 across schools, colleges and online platforms. Budgets were spent year-round. Water awareness is not seasonal. It is a national responsibility and we are fulfilling it. Fourthly, in states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Odisha, rejections exceed 20% due to incomplete forms, duplicates and address mismatch. To cut this, Form 6 and 8 were simplified. BLOs deployed door-to-door and online corrections were strengthened. These steps are steadily reducing the rejections. Finally, Honorable Speaker, let me state clearly, no eligible Indian will be left out and no uneligible entry will be left in. That's our promise, our responsibility And that's how the world's largest democracy remains the world's most inclusive democracy.
Srimati Jessie Sara.
Honorable Speaker, I rise today to raise the matter that strikes the heart of every Indian, the integrity of our electoral rolls. Elections are the lifeblood of a democracy, and at the heart of every free and fair elections lies a clean, accurate and inclusive electoral rolls. But today, we face a crisis, a quiet yet dangerous threat to this foundation. We witness the mass deletion of voters across the regions of India without a notice, without any verification. I repeat, without any verification to the people, especially from the people across the marginalized and weaker sections of the society. It is shocking that this fundamental right is being denied to these voters. The right to vote is being denied to these voters. What is more alarming than the lack of transparency in the government? Where is government's accountability regarding this issue? In some places like Telangana, Maharashtra and Karnataka, many fake voters have been registered in the electoral rolls. How does the government does not notice this issue, and how does this remain not corrected? Honorable Speaker and the members of this House, let us not forget that a flawed electoral roll is not just an administrative issue. It is a dangerous threat to this democracy itself. Honorable Speaker, I would like to raise some concerns to the ruling party regarding these issues. What safeguards are being enforced to prevent the manipulation of rural voters lists in India? Number 2, as the poet Jeev Patel famously wrote, democracy is not a spectator sport. Yet, the 2024 to 2025 elections electoral roll surveys reveals that the very foundation of our democracy, the voters list, is riddled with gaps affecting millions across the country. How does the government intend to transform these survey insights into immediate actions to secure an inclusive and accurate electoral rolls nationwide? Number 3, the 2024 to 2025 survey also reveals that millions of eligible voters across our country remain unregistered or misplaced in the voters list. Can the government explain how it plans to ensure that these silent citizens are finally brought into light, supported by the national survey data covering the whole country? What concrete measures are in place to address these discrepancies countrywide?
The very backbone of our democracy. Please allow me to share some additional measures that shows how we are acting. Fully supported by this government, conducted free online enrollment so citizens can add or correct their names any day of the year. Second, door-to-door verification drive, secured by mobile apps and GPS tagged fields. Ensures even every remote hamlets and urban slums are covered. Third, the roles are also available for multilingual portals, SMS, WhatsApp and toll-free numbers. Voters can add or check their details instantly. We have also funded special outreach campus for migrant workers, people with and senior citizens. And we have also introduced real-time Aadhaar authentications with secure privacy safeguards and for preventing duplications and deletions. Some of the layered actions like technology, community participation and continuous monitoring will prove that under this government, every rightful voter will be counted
and every single vote will carry its own power.
But my question is, are we celebrating real progress or just a paper tiger? Penny wise and pound foolish, cheering small emission cuts while farmers are losing their entire harvest is exactly that. The reports from the Hindu and Reuters clearly state that sugarcane and food grains are diverting from kitchens and cattle fields to ethanol production plants. Farmers are facing extreme uncertainty and families are paying more for less. The government claims E20 cuts CO2 emissions from 2,300 grams per liter on E10 to 1,850 to 1,900 grams per liter on E20. A 20% reduction. Sounds amazing, right? But in real-time driving conditions, a car's mileage drops 1 to 6%, meaning a car initially giving 15 km per liter mileage on E10 may drop to 14 km per liter mileage on E20. This results only in 5 to 10% emission cuts. The actual numbers are way smaller than the ones stated in the headlines. If we think E20 is the only way to address the fuel crisis in India, we are clearly barking up the wrong tree. Reports state that vehicles released only after April 2023 are E20 fuel efficient. So most cars on our road aren't even compatible and citizens are paying more for fewer kilometers. Rolling this out now is like putting the cart in front of the horse. Infrastructure isn't ready, technology isn't ready, and ordinary middle-class families are bearing its heavy costs. All that glitters is not gold. E20 may sound like a golden achievement, but in reality, it's a double-edged sword. Slight emission cuts on one side and huge costs on another. Are we really letting headlines win over the people? Honorable Speaker, until our vehicles, technology, roads and systems are truly ready, this is just a paper victory. And what is the government going to do to address the problems and heavy prices faced by the farmers, families and our food security? Thank you.
Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas to answer the question of the opposition.
Honorable Speaker and respected members of the Parliament, as we know, fuel is something that keeps our economy, vehicle and our patients running. Despite critical times like COVID-19 and global crisis, India has never faced a shortage of fuel. And thanks to our diversified imports, strategic resources, domestic production and renewable energy. Next, when we come to E20 made from ethanol is a true game changer. It has not only saved us economically, the E20 has reduced the carbon dioxide emissions, and also it has reduced our economical spending on the import of crude oil. So, as we know, petrol is costly, polluting, and 85% of it is imported. But when it comes to E20 can be made from sugarcane, maize and even waste of crop materials. This reduces the emission by up to 65%. And since 2014, it has saved farmers rupees 1.18 lakh crore, which is a great thing. And also it has resulted to the employment by creating new biorefineries, R&D centers and solution to transport. Green jobs has been created for the employment of youth. Also, the fuel efficiency and the mileage is minimal. It's only up to 1 to 2% in tuned vehicles and 3 to 6% in others. And this can be easily managed by tuning engines, by regular services and also by minor component replacement, which is typically inexpensive. Despite the challenges, its long-term benefits outweigh them. About concern of the price, it is due to the higher procurement, but as the production scales, the price will reduce. So, as Dr. Abdul Kalam said, we should not give up and should not allow problems to defeat us.
E20 is not a silver spoon but a bridge for a brighter future, cleaner air and prosperity for the farmers. Thank you. Srimati Yashika Selvi.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished members, I stand here to voice the concerns of millions of Indians who feel the burn of every rupee disappearing at the petrol bunk. Yes, the fuel crisis of India. Instead of planning carefully, the government have took a great leap, which is moving forward to E20 fuel. A bold leap, no doubt, but sadly, a leap without a parachute. Ethanol depends heavily on maize, sugarcane and crops which need enormous water. I therefore ask this government to answer now that will you guarantee that no citizen will pay more, will you guarantee that no citizen will pay more at pump for the reduced mileage? Will you guarantee that farmers will not produce the crops which need enormous water?
Shri Sushant Krishna, Finance Minister.
Honorable Speaker and respected members of the House, the opposition MP is raising an issue on the increase in fuel prices and trying to create fuss by saying that India is in a fuel crisis. The so-called fuel crisis, as though if it's the creation of our Indian government. I want to put to the kind information of the opposition that crude oil prices are dependent on various market factors such as OPEC decisions, ongoing conflicts like Russia-Ukraine war, trade barriers, tariffs and supply chain disruptions. But any country, no country however powerful it might be, and no nation however financially stable it might be, are insulated from these shocks. But what differentiates our government, our Indian government, is a response. We have constantly revised excise duties to maintain economic stability, and we have created strategic oil reserves to ensure supply chain security. Till today there is no part of India which is facing fuel crisis, and I assure the House there won't be any part in the future also. Next, the opposition MP said our E20 fuel as a failed alternative. Let me present some facts. India achieved 10% ethanol blend in petrol in 2022, 5 months ahead of the scheduling. 85% of Indian oil is imported, which costs us a staggering $137 billion. Using E20 blend will cut consumptions and by 86 million barrels and save us 30,000 crores in foreign exchange. It will generate an additional income of 60,000 crores for our farmers. And we are already working on G2 ethanol, and we've already invested 40,000 crores for it. Our government is based on truths, facts, reports and statistics, not on cheap emotional drama and conspiracy theories. Therefore, I reject any attempt to blame the government. This is a global storm, but India is standing firm. The government is not cause of the crisis, but is the shield and the solution. Thank you.
Shri Nitin Karthikeyan.
Honorable Speaker, we are perplexed at the own logic when they say that India is in a fuel crisis. India is not actually in a fuel crisis. It's a shadow crisis due to the Trump's tariff on India. First of all, the US made India to buy oil from every other countries like Russia in order to stabilize the. But now they are saying that it will affect the market. And the secondary thing is Russian oil is useful for India because Russian oil is available in a low rate for India compared to others. And we have diversified our fuel resources compared to other countries. And we are buying the fuels from Russia and many other countries. So that this fuel crisis is not a real crisis, but a shadow crisis.
Shri Purushottam.
Honorable Speaker and respected ministries and my friends. As my fellow MP told that the ethanol decreases the fuel efficiency 1 to 6%. It's actually truth, but not from the 1 to 6%. It reduces more than 6 to 8%. You know, already a pure petrol or the engine, okay, ethanol engine is also dangerous for our vehicles. So I haven't doubt that for ethanol, we are promoting ethanol so much that ethanol is the base for everything in the future. No, as the MP told, it's true that it decreases and also it damages the engine. Do our government is going to recreate from the scratch of all Indian vehicles engines for promoting ethanol? And there is in fact, okay, it's from IBEF. You know, India plays the major role in renewable energy. It is the 4th most important country in renewable energy, 3rd in the solar and 4th in the wind power. Instead of bringing only electric vehicles, we don't have any shortage for engineers or the students or the scientists. Okay, we have produced some great scientists like Abdul Kalam and more. Why can't we try an invention of bringing a solar powered car or bike? Every house in India should have solar power energy to create a new compatible environment, and it also boosts our economy. By selling the solar cars, we can also grow in our economic wise. So my major question is, E20 decreases 6 to 7% of fuel efficiency. Okay, as I told, the first question, do our government is going to bring every engine from the scratch to promote ethanol E20? Thank you.
Srimati Tanishka.
Our government has ongoing and recent developments for ethanol blending program. We also have India's ethanol blending target by 2020, where 40% of the ethanol is blended, and which also reduces the dependence on other foreign countries for crude oil exports, which is nearly 85%, and it is a huge percentage dependence. At a time of global crisis, it is very hard and difficult to depend on them. For example, we have Russia-Ukraine war and Gulf tensions, where there is a heavy pressure on dependence. So India targets to produce its own fuel by blending with ethanol, which reduces the crude oil imports and give boost to our farmers and produce the crops. It also has flex fuel vehicles, which gives 40% of ethanol and 60% of petrol, which makes the crude oil imports less and also makes sure that our country also plays a major role and not a dependence on other foreign countries. It also targets on national bioenergy missions and greenhouse hydrogen emissions, which makes our India sustainable and cleaner and reduces carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide emissions. Our government also initiated with state initiatives in Maharashtra, UP and Karnataka, which provided the production of large sugar industries, which gave the boost to farmers and increased ethanol production and reduced the crude oil imports. Thank you.
Now, let's take up legislative business. Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development to introduce the bill.
Madam, I beg to leave the bill introducing the Bill of Social Media Accountability and Transparency 2025.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce a bill called Social Media Accountability and Transparency 2025. Those who are in favor will please say aye. Those who are against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Leave is granted.
Madam, I introduce the bill.
A joint parliamentary committee will be formed and to submit the report by the next parliamentary session. Now the House will take up the consideration of the bill Right to Disconnect 2025. Minister, please.
Honorable Speaker, esteemed members of the House, we live in a time where work follows us everywhere, in our pockets, on our dining tables, and even into our bedrooms through constant calls and messages. As Gandhiji rightly said, there is more to work than increasing its speed. It is time to pause, and that is why I rise to introduce the Right to Disconnect Bill 2025. In the course of the past decade, we have witnessed a radical transformation in how, when, and where we work. Technology, once a tool to liberate time and reduce drudgery, has paradoxically become an instrument of invisible bondage. The smartphones, the laptops, the cloud, all of which were designed to facilitate productivity, have in practice become instruments of surveillance and silent mechanisms of control that extend our workdays beyond the clock, beyond the office, and far too often beyond reason. A recent survey conducted by the Indeed Survey in 2024 casts an uncomfortable idea in this phenomenon. It reveals that an astounding 88% of Indian employees receive work-related calls and messages outside the designated work hours. And more strikingly, around 85% of them are being contacted during sick leaves, national holidays, and weekends. In a nation where employment itself is a privilege, the right to not work is being eroded quietly but systematically. The consequences are alarming. A study by the World Health Organization in collaboration with the International Labour Organization gives us stern warnings. Working more than 55 or more hours can cause serious troubles in the human, with around 35% higher risk of heart diseases and 17% higher risk of stroke. It is not merely statistics. It is silent funerals, unattended sufferings, and unseen sacrifices made at the altar of performance. India ranks among the top overworked nations, with 51% of its workforce working more than 49 hours a week, a threshold of common across our countries. At this point, the question naturally arises, is this the price of progress? Are these hours a necessary sacrifice made on the path of development? Some indeed believe so. This bill mandates a clear definition of work hours, mandates employers to choose to respect the periods of rest, to set reporting and complaining of redressal mechanisms on violation. It aims to develop a culture where dedication is not measured by permanent availability and loyalty is not defined by silence in the face of burnout. Many countries, like from France to Spain, have proven that the right to disconnect does not make workers lazy. It makes them productive and more happier. It draws a line. After hours is yours. This bill, passing this bill, will send a strong signal that India is not only productive but also respect workers' personal dignity. That we embrace technology but we do not surrender to it. That we believe in a workforce that is not only productive but also healthy, resilient, and happy. So I urge this House to support the Right to Disconnect Bill for a future where India is not only economically grown but also respects human dignity. Thank you.
Ma'am, I am confident that all honorable members of this House, irrespective of party affiliation, will welcome the bill wholeheartedly. With these words, I now move that the right to disconnect bill be taken for consideration. Motion moved. That the bill to provide for the information of legal framework ensuring that right to disconnect, therefore promoting work-life balance and regulating after-work communications be taken into consideration. Srimati Ashika Selvi.
Honorable Speaker, esteemed members, I strongly oppose the Right to Disconnect Bill 2025. Though it appears to promote life and work balance, but it also slows down the economic growth and it creates problem for business and investors. India is 24/7 economy. IT engineers collaborate with different time zones. Doctors attend the emergencies and our logistics operates the supply of chain alive. They all rely on flexible and the communication. Does this bill recognize their reality or criminalize their commitments?
Shri Rohit.
Honorable Speaker, the ruling party calls this the right to disconnect. I call it the right to destroy, the destruction of ambition, responsibility and India's growth story. These countries passed the law to protect the tired workers in aging economies. But India isn't an aging economy. I repeat, India isn't an aging economy. We are a young, ambitious nation hungry for growth. I repeat, hungry for growth. What is medicine for a tired Europe may be poison for a rising India. India has always been the land of hard work. Our farmers toil day and night, our engineers burn midnight oil, and our entrepreneurs rise with grit and hustle. But this bill sends a dangerous message that entitlement is greater than effort, that comfort is greater than ambition. The youth of India do not need a right to disconnect. They need a right to opportunity, a right to opportunity. This bill will not empower the youth of India. It will weaken their spirit. Other countries are not India. We are a growing economy and not a retired one. Do not compare a racing horse with a sleeping cat. Our ancestors built this nation with sweat and sacrifice, and today the ruling party wants our youth to build it with pillows and excuses. The government call it a right, I call it a retreat, and nations that retreat can never lead.
Honorable Speaker, this bill is not the right to disconnect. It is the right to disconnect India from the global economy. In today's global economy, clients from America and Europe are awake. Our country's companies cannot afford to sleep. If India disconnects after the working hours, international contacts will disconnect India permanently. Multinational companies will simply shift their projects to the countries which are available 24/7. Honorable Speaker, this bill is not creating free time for the employees, it is creating unemployment for the youth. Instead of boosting the competition, it's crippling our economy. The opposition strongly rejects this fantasy. Balance is good, but this bill isn't a balance, it's an imbalance. It tilts comfort over commitment. It is like putting India in aeroplane mode while the rest of the world is on 5G. The government wants to give the employees by giving them free time, but in return it will cost them their salary. Ma'am, this is the simple truth. No company waits, no contact waits, and no economy waits. If we disconnect, others will connect and we lose.
Madam Speaker, and to the respected member of this House, today we stand at the frontier of a new chapter in our democracy, the one that touches every home, every workplace, and every citizen's right to a life of dignity. We consider the Right to Disconnect Bill 2025 a measure whose time has come and whose spirit flows directly from the constitutional promise of liberty and well-being. For decades, the Indian worker has powered the economy with resilience and innovation. But in the era of 24/7 connectivity, it has become difficult managing labor and life. Relentless messages, endless late-night calls, expectation of perpetual availability of labor have all quietly robbed the time meant for family, rest, and self-renewal. This is no more a matter of convenience. This is a mad question of fundamental rights. The right to health, the right to personal freedom, and the right to mental peace. The Right to Disconnect Bill seeks to create an equilibrium, protecting the employees from coercive after-hours commitments, at the same time respecting the needs of business. The bill calls for mandatory organization policies, clear work hour norms, and safeguard against retaliation when a worker exercises his right to log off. They rob parents of their time with children and workers of rest. The Right to Disconnect Bill 2025 is not anti-growth. This is pro-human. I repeat, this is not anti-growth. This is pro-human. A rested worker is a productive worker. As balanced life builds a stronger nation. We will work with state governments, industries, and civic societies to ensure smooth implementation. Let me be clear. Our government will never allow the digital age to become an age of digital servitude. Our economy will thrive, but never at the cost of citizens' well-being. To the citizens of India, I say this: your evenings, your families, your health, and your right to stay silent are not mere privileges granted by your employers. They are the rights guaranteed by a democratic government. This bill also ensures that technology remains as a tool for empowerment, not an instrument of endless control. Let the world see that India not only leads in technology and enterprise, but also in justice and humanity. I urge this House to pass the Right to Disconnect Bill 2025 and send a resounding message. In the Republic of India, life belongs to people, not to the clock. I repeat, life belongs to people and not to the clock. Jai Hind.
Shri V.S. Santosh.
Respected Speaker, through you, I want to point out that this bill looks good, but only on paper. Because in the real world, when the lives and industries depend on after-hours work, this bill is nothing but handcuff. Not every job ends when the clock strikes 6. Healthcare, IT, emergency services, transport, media, these industries run round the clock. By enforcing this bill, we are handcuffing the very sectors which save lives and run our economy. Work-life balance is important. Yes, I do agree. But it cannot be legislated by force. It is a matter of company policy and personal choice, not parliamentary interference. When a hospital, IT server or transport system collapses after hours, shall we tell people, sorry, come back tomorrow? Is it sensible? Esteemed members, this law is like telling a soldier not to pick up his rifle after sunset. If a hospital refuses to answer calls at night due to this bill, the government will have blood on its hands. India's IT backbone, transport system, media, emergency services, none of these can survive
if workers are legally forced to sleep when the nation suffers.
Shri Sriram.
Honorable Speaker, the right to disconnect bill should focus on the benefits for educators and students. The need of balance in the digital age, the potential impact on mental health and well-being. You should consider how such a law could improve teacher burnout and student-teacher interaction. We also examine potential challenges like maintaining availability for emergencies and aligning the policy with educational goal. Improves work-life balance. This right allows for a better separation between professional and personal lives, giving educators time to recharge and spend time with their family. Even Indians have family to take care of themselves. So we should give them proper time to spend time and take rest. Even the WHO and ILO says that when people work more than 55 hours per week, they will get mental health problems. So for preventing the death of Indians, this bill was introduced. Jai Hind.
Srimati Harini.
May not fully address the needs or challenges of all sectors. This may be due to the diverse nature of work, the varying demands of different industries, and the unique challenges that certain sectors face that may require constant availability, adaptability, and flexibility. Sectors like information technology, healthcare, emergency services need constant availability. Strict enforcement of this law may disrupt or restrict emergency responses or the essential services. In a globalized economy, companies need to operate across different time zones and be available. The right to disconnect might limit the flexibility. For instance, workers in healthcare sectors need to be available in all hours and even during their off hours. Professional healthcare workers like doctors and nurses need to be available even during their off hours or during urgent cases. In technological sectors, the workers are often called to fix critical issues and also the technical outages during their off hours. So in this case, the right to disconnect clashes with the urgency of fixing the technical problems. If the bill is too rigid, it may reduce the efficiency and slow the decision-making process. If the bill is too flexible, the employers may exploit the loopholes and it may lead to the weakening of employee welfare.
Shri Hardik.
After enduring a marathon of 8 or more hours at office, the thought of answering work-related calls or replying to mails during personal time can be burdensome. Some employees earn for solace of home to reconnect with friends and families. The modern work landscape, however, demands constant accessibilities of employees. The topic assumes significance over 1,20,000 deaths yearly attributing to the work stress. This is the fifth major cause of deaths in India. So, the recent tragic pass of the 26-year-old chartered accountant in Ernst & Young in Pune has drawn attention to the harmful effects of toxic work environment on employees' health, psychosocial stress. The expectation to engage in work over 10 hours a day, along with the obligation to remain available for every office communications at home, contribute significantly to psychosocial stress. Maintaining healthy social relationships is necessary. Neglecting them can weaken social bonds and lead to isolation. A study indicates that psychosocial stress may even elevate the risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. The second reason is job strain. The pressures of long working hours and an ever competitive environment can create a highly stressful workplace. The frustration of being accountable for all calls and emails after work hours further exacerbates job strain. A notable statistics reveals that the morality difference between the men and without job strain was similar to that between men and between smokers and non-smokers. The third reason is lack of productivity. Extended work hours do not necessarily correlate with increased productivity. A recent report reveals that the employees who have logged off at the end of the work tend have more productivity than those are continuing beyond their standard hours. Fourth reason, screen time. The prevalence of technology in the workplace has prolonged screen time, which can adversely affect the health of the employee. The recent research conducted by Workplace Intelligence tells that employees sit for 96.1 hours in screen time a week, which equals to 4 full days. The Right to Discussion is a novel initiative aimed at alleviating the pressures of work after official hours. To effectively implement the right to disconnect in India, a robust framework is essential for accounting for the diverse nature of work across various sectors, the economic realities and the competitive pressures that influence both employee expectation and the managerial pressure.
The question is that the bill is provided for introduction of an effective and efficient system of work-life balance to be taken into consideration. Those who are in favor will please say aye. Those who are against it will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Now, the House will take up Private Members' Resolution Bill. Srimati Maya to move the resolution.
Honorable Speaker, I rise with a deep sense of urgency to move this resolution on combating the menace of drugs and narcotics and ensuring the rehabilitation of addicts. Today, a silent epidemic stalks our towns and villages, from bustling metros to remote hamlets. Narcotics are poisoning our youth, draining family savings and feeding organized crime. This is not merely a law and order issue. It is an assault on our nation's health, productivity and moral core. We cannot watch an entire generation slip away. We need ironclad border controls and warlike prosecution on the traffickers who profit from destruction. Let every smuggler know, India will hunt you down, prosecute you swiftly and confiscate every rupee of your blood money. But, honorable members, enforcement alone is not enough. Addicts are citizens in pain, not enemies. We must ensure that we open well-equipped rehabilitation centers in every district, provide professional counseling, and create a national fund so that no family has to choose between treatment and destitution. Our schools and colleges must become fortresses of awareness. Let us arm our young minds with knowledge and resilience so that the peddler finds no market, no customer, and no opening. I appeal across party lines. This is not politics. This is our shared duty. By adopting this resolution, we send a message that our Indian Parliament stands united, that we will protect every child and reclaim every life. Let us act now with resolve and with compassion. I commend this resolution to the House.
Sri Jai Vishnu.
If we don't act now, the ending won't be any better. Respected members of this Parliament and Honorable Speaker, it is of great honor and responsibility and politics that brings us all here. To combat the menace of drugs and narcotics, the government has hereby established the most successful Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. It proceeds as follows. It was established on the 15th of August 2020, which created a mass sensation connecting over 18 crore people, 4.85 lakh institutions, 1.67 crore students. The website and the campaign uses an app and a national toll-free helpline. Through help from NGOs, spiritual organizations and many others, it has reached from 272 vulnerable districts to 372 vulnerable districts, expanding over 32 states and union territories. For the rehabilitation of addicts, there have been over 340 integrated rehabilitation centers set up all over India with 41 addiction treatment facilities for de-addiction, which is a mass success we all must celebrate. And I may add, Madam Speaker, that NMBA mainly focuses on reverting the failures of the past Punjab NMBA implementation or the drug demand reduction during the time of 2004 to 14. We reverted through grassroots level expansion involving NGOs and multiple stakeholders. We also have built a proper infrastructure allotting upwards of 10 lakh rupees per month for implementation of NMBA. And I shall hereby proudly announce that our government has established a powerful drug demand reduction plan hereby. Now, let us not waste the Parliament's time and let us proceed with the ideologies and let's foster what has been built for a better India tomorrow. We all must know, enough is not enough until you know what is more than enough. And I shall end it there, Honorable Speaker and respected members, in a high note. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Sri Harish.
2.9 crore adults, 20 lakh adolescents using drugs. Many children are injecting substance and risking their lives. Despite schemes like National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction, access to real rehabilitation remains limited, especially in rural areas. In 2023 alone, over 7,400 drug-related cases were reported, and seizures like 2,500 bottles of codeine syrup in Maharashtra shows how serious the problem is. As an opposition MP, I demand accountability and urgent action. Rehabilitation centers must reach every village, mental health support must be included, traffickers must be punished, and policies must be evidence-based. Combating drug abuse is not just a policy, it's a moral duty, and we must act now to give every young Indian a chance to live a healthy drug-free life. Thank you.
Srimati Tripti.
Greetings to the Honorable Speaker and my fellow colleagues. Drugs are not just killing dreams, they are killing India's future. That is why the ruling government talks of actions, not mere documents. 2.1% of Indians are opioid dependent. This is not just a shameful statistic. It is about our youth. It is about our future. It is a ticking time bomb which only the ruling government has managed to defuse. It is a social emergency, Speaker Madam, the menace of drugs and narcotics. Under the National Action Plan of Drug Demand Reduction, over 350 integrated rehabilitation centers have been established nationwide. We don't give slogans, we give solutions. And in this case, the name of the solution is the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. It has been established in 272 vulnerable districts and has now expanded to all districts of India. It has aided over 16.5 crore people to 18 crore people nationwide. The opposition accuses of over-exaggeration. I ask them, in their 10-year tenure, how many people have been recovered from drug addiction? Silence itself is an answer, Speaker, Madam. Rupees 333 crore under the NAPDDR scheme has been allocated under the ruling party government to combat drug menace. The NDPS Act of 1985 was introduced by the opposition. NDPS Act 1985 जो आपने बनाया था हमने उसको enforce किया. It was us who enforced with record seizures of 1.4 lakh kilograms worth rupees 12,000 crores obtained throughout the nation. What answer does the opposition have to this? Our message to the opposition is clear. Where they saw vote banks, we saw victims. Where they ignored, we acted. And where they left a crisis, we are building a Nasha Mukt Naya Bharat. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Shri Rishit.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, and my fellow parliamentarians, let me tell you a story of a 17-year-old boy named Raj from Punjab. He was a 17-year-old boy, as I told already. He was an extraordinary cricketer and he had a bright future ahead of him. But guess what? All of this nabbed in one single day. Heroin not only stole his hope, but his future with it. Let us face the facts. 23 million people in our nation, yes, 23 million people of our nation are under the effect of drugs. 8.5 lakh people use opioid every single year and they do not get adequate treatment. Let me ask the government, why is this happening right now? And there are less than 500 functional rehabilitation centers, that too on paper. Most of them lack even a trained counselor. Is this how we wage a war against drugs? This is certainly not how it is going to be in the future. We talk of Viksit Bharat 2047, but are we going to form a Viksit Bharat just by making laws that do not affect the youth and they just complicate the procedures of our parliament? The answer is no. Let me propose 5 such solutions that can be taken by the parliament. The first and the foremost solution being integration of AI learning models, especially in schools and colleges where there is high incidence of drug distribution. The second solution what I propose is the sanctioning of minor amounts of drugs, just like how Portugal did, and they reduced their overdose deaths by around 80%. The third solution I would like to suggest to the parliament is that we should create a 24/7 helpline centers where no taboo and no stigmas are taken into account. To my friends across the aisle, I say let us race above party lines and let us do something for the nation. Parties will come and go, governments will form and fall, but the nation must remain intact. Let us respect the values of our founding fathers and let us proceed in the right direction in future. Let us vote not for us, vote for those who cannot vote because they are lost under the shadow of drugs. From darkness to light, let us lead From darkness to hope, let us help them cope. Thank you so much.
Srimati Anvika.
Honorable Speaker, fellow members, as the government MP responsible for addressing the issue of drug and narcissism, I am proud to share the initiatives taken by our government to combat this problem. We have launched a comprehensive national drug policy focusing on prevention, treatment and rehabilitation. Our government has increased funding for rehabilitation centers, de-addict programs and awareness campaigns. We also strengthened law enforcement to curb drug trafficking and smuggling. Our programs aim to educate youth about the dangers of drug abuse, providing them with skills and support to make informed choices. Rehabilitation is the key aspect to our strategy. We have established centers providing counseling, medical treatment and rehabilitation training to help addicts rebuild their lives. I would like to highlight our government's commitment to ensure these services are accountable and affordable for all. We are working tirelessly to create a society free from scandal of drug abuse and addiction. I argue, fellow members of the Youth Parliament, I am deeply concerned about the growing menace of narcotics in our country. As we all know, drug abuse and addiction can have devastating consequences not only for individuals but also for their families and communities. The government's efforts to combat this issue has not been inadequate. Laws against drug trafficking and abuse are not being effectively implemented, and funds for rehabilitation are not effectively implemented, and funding for rehabilitation centers and programs is insufficient. Awareness campaigns about the dangers of drug abuse are also lacking. I argue or urge the government to take concrete steps to address this issue. We need a comprehensive strategy that includes prevention, treatment and rehabilitation. We need to increase funding for rehabilitation centers and programs, improve awareness campaigns and strengthen laws against drug trafficking and abuse. We owe it to our young generation and future generations to create a society that is free from drug abuse and addiction. I request all members to support this motion and urge the government to take actions. Thank you.
Assure the House that our government will stand firmly on this resolution through speed, science and unyielding national will. We will cut off the supply of narcotics. We will heal those people who are already affected and keep the next generation safe, strong and free.
Honorable members, after the discussion, it is clear that this bill introduces no new provisions and its measures are already in practice. In the interest of the House's time and constructive lawmaking, I direct that the bill be withdrawn. I thank the mover and all members for their contributions. Honorable members, as we bring this distinguished session of Youth Parliament to a graceful close, let us carry forward the spirit of dialogue, respect, and democratic responsibility that has marked today's deliberations. On behalf of the Chair, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to every participant for your dedication and decorum. With the business of today duly concluded, I now declare this House adjourned until its next sitting. Jai Hind.
As we near the close of this enriching experience, we turn to the voice that matters most, yours. May I now invite a few student representatives to come forward and share their feedback on today's session.
So hello everyone, myself Purushottam, I am from Perks Public School. So today my role is like an opposition MP. I came here to give my review about my first ever mock parliament or the youth parliament session. This was nice, as the school in charge and the host principal sir told, it was nice to have in sudden decision making, which at the last minute I changed my script to change like according to the opposition. It is fully based on unexpected surprises when others think. We should think in every other perspective, in which we can learn more about the democratic India and our proud Indian country. This should be implemented in every school for every year, for every children, for like a category wise, or else in state or a national competition, in which a quiz, a sport like that, this should also be held in every competition, in which every children can learn at least a base from the senior level of politics. In every sport we say it happens in politics. No, we should know the deeper understanding of what is the meaning of politics. Before using the word politics, we should know what we are talking about our Indian government and parliament. Parliament is a holy place where the justice is made. Respect all the people, not the ruling party, also the opposition party, in which the decisions and the different mode is made. So I'm happy to be a participant of this event, not only as a winner or a loser. Today I have a certificate to prove that I made something good or something a change in my certificate list. So to prove that, I am also a member of Youth Parliament and I have learned something about our nation. So thank you everyone.
It is my honor and privilege to stand at the forefront and share my views as a participant of Inter-School Youth Parliament. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and foremost respect to our principal, vice principal and event coordinators to have given me this opportunity to be a part of the Inter-School Youth Parliament and play a pivotal role as the Prime Minister. So this session of Youth Parliament has brought out various critical issues faced by India. It has not only created awareness among people about various issues, it has also brought out the leader in each and every one of us, the legislature in each and every one of us. And I would like to be, at some point of time in my life, a leader as well. Moreover, this session has been wonderful, and I hope each and every one of you have learned something about national politics and so on. Thank you.
I am Nitin Karthikeyan of Srinachamal Vidyavani. If someone asks who's my inspiration, I would say Jai Shankar, Shashi Tharoor, Tejas Surya. I don't know how many of you are aware of those things, but I love the parliamentary way of conveying those things. For example, Tejas Surya's bold comebacks, Jai Shankar's and also Shashi Tharoor's comical way of expressing things. I loved his most word that British Empire, about the British Empire, which I have used there. I could repeat once again, the British Empire, the sun never sets in the British Empire, because even the God was afraid of the British. Those all kind of words inspired me and moved me to participate in debate competition and a parliament competition like this. This is a wonderful opportunity created by the school. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is GM Sherin Martina of RT International School, Erode. Actually, this session was a session of experience, to be said frankly. So we students in our young age are aware how the democracy functions in each and every country. To be said, India has a different democracy to compare to other countries which performs the democracy. So each country is unique in its own way and we are unique in our own way. We deal with problems, we sort it out, we don't argue. That's the main thing we actually do in our country. And as responsible citizens, in our young age, we deserve everything. We deserve what we need and we fight for our rights when it's not being given. So for example, the countries like Nepal, they just fight for silly things, which we say as social media. Maybe it's silly for us, but they see it as a sensitive issue. but we deal it in a right way where people don't suffer, people don't argue, and people don't protest. So this is what we all learn it from youth parliament. So we can just derive it from the term youth parliament. It's for us, the youth, who will just learn what are the basic, and we are going to be the root of our country. So thank you for giving this such an opportunity, and I'm also thankful behalf of my school students, RD International, representing here. Thank you.
Greetings everyone, I'm MP Jayashna from Peepal Prodigy School. It was a really opportunistic move to allow us to be here. I really thank Agaram Public School for giving us youth citizen an opportunity to be to empower and learn about Parliament's function. It was a really enjoyable, and it was really a opportunistic move. And to all the members here, I really hope you make something, you do something that makes India proud in the future, and I shall try my best to do so too. Thank you everyone, and thank you Agaram Public School for giving all of our schools an opportunity to participate here.
I am Mr. Mohammed Afraz from Walergate Vidyalayam. To be more specific, I'm from V School. This is actually my first attempt to be here at the Youth Parliament. Actually, it was a grateful and it was a great experience for me. You know, at a young age, it is always we always have a right to learn everything. Actually, for me personally, this was a wonderful experience, and thank you for the Agaram Public School for initiating such a great parliamentary youth parliament. I really appreciate it, and you know, whether it's a win or loss, it's always a opportunity for us. You know, if the victory or defeat, it's always the second thing you have to notice. The opportunity you get, it's the first and notable thing. It is always a prominent thing too. Personally, it was a wonderful opportunity for me to be here at such a position to be a ruling Treasury MP here. It was a wonderful experience, to be honest. And again, I would like to appreciate the Agaram Public School for initiating such a wonderful youth parliament, and thank you for everything.
Happy noon, children. Actually, the topic is the youth parliament. This is not a youth parliament, it's a real parliament. I had in 28 years. I am the social science teacher for the past 28 years, but I never ever seen children to discuss about this kind of a debate or parliament issues, children. Actually, we have taught in a class. You have heard about that, what is a democracy, what is a parliament functions, everything. But here, there's a goosebumps are there. Really, I appreciated you children. There is no doubt you are all the future generation to bring changes in our India. Really children, I feel very proud of you, how you are talking, how you are preparing your points. Really, there is no doubt children, you should bring. My dream is anyone can bring the changes in the politics. In our period, there is no chance. In my class, I keep on saying this, you are the future generation, you have to bring at least any changes in the politics. But there is no doubt children, any one of you can bring the changes in our Indian politics. You be a good citizen of our India. Our blessings always with you. Thank you children, thank you very much for this opportunity. And there is no other word children. Whatever I have to say, everything you have discussed here, very good. And then my Purushottam says that we are going to implement it in our schools. Each and every children want to know what is a parliament, what is the function of a parliament, what is a democracy. So we are also, in future, we are also going to implement in our school. Thank you very much, sir, to give a great opportunity for our children and for me also. Thank you, sir.
Greetings, everyone. I take this opportunity to thank the hosting school for inviting us for this youth parliament session, and we have invited sir for our school's council elections. After that, we had you in our school also, sir. So we are very thankful for having us today, and the well structured, planned and contents, the initiatives taken by the members of the school for this very good organization of this youth parliament session was tremendous. And I see young generations here coming up ready to groom as future leaders. The effort that you have put in for this content preparation, so much of research work that you have done on this process is appreciative, and each one of the speaker who spoke were actually done very well. It looked like we are actually sitting in a parliament where you followed decent decorum and respected the words of everyone, listening to the arguments, listening to the questions and the answers given by the opposition as well as the ruling party. So I thank for this opportunity and many more sessions to come. We have also conducted in our school twice, but we have also got some more experience, and more inter-school competitions or inter-school sessions will boost up the confidence of the children. So I get an inspiration to do this even more better in our school. Thank you, sir, for inviting us, and appreciations to all the participants of this session. Thank you.
So, good afternoon all. So, do you feel hungry? Do you all feel hungry? Okay. So let me end my speech within 1 or 2 lines. See, actually, our children, they have attended many events, but youth parliament, this is the first time. So as we all know, today's students, you will be the tomorrow's leader. Whatever you learn from here, you just make it as the place where you mold yourself. See, when you go out, when you face the society, there will be a lot of things where you may get distracted, but you don't do all such things. So how you are in base what you have learned, what the schools have taught you, what your parents have taught you, so you keep it as the base and you don't get corrupted. You be the good citizen. So that is why in this younger age, all these sessions, all these educations, awareness, everything is being done, because we want you all be the better future leaders. So keep this in mind and work for the betterment of the society and for the country. Jai Hind.
Happy afternoon, children. Says, happy afternoon. Yes? Am I audible? But it is not audible for me. As ma'am said, are you all feel hungry? Yes. But I am very sure here the participants may not have a hungry. Do you know why I am saying like this? As many said, many of the persons said, it's same looks, same miniature of our Indian Parliament. Yes, I'm damn sure. So we followed the same protocols, the same decorum here. I am very thankful to this management, and I am assuring that for the next year, we will be trying to come up with many more children from our school, and we are very much inspired to have the same youth parliament to be conducted in our school also. And this is my 16th year of handling social science. I used to say to my children, maximum for grade 10 and grade 12 children, to get participate in political system. Or I used to say, get participation democratically. So what does it mean? It is not just right to vote. Just casting your vote is not alone, is a democratic participation. You should indulge yourself in decision-making process. I usually make my children or encourage my children to focus in some competitive exams and try to get engaged in the role of government as a government officials. But after seeing this today's session, I am going to say to my children, not only as a government officials, they should become as a good politician also. Whether these words, I mean, those who are sitting here, do you follow children? Are you all very much interested to get participate in our political system? Really? Yes? Only I can see the Prime Minister is knocking the head. I want everyone, not only these participants, those who are sitting at back as the future India. I want every children to get enrolled in the politics, and we should have change in our Indian society. Jai Hind. Thank you.
We now arrive at a moment of recognition and celebration. As the proverb goes, appreciation is the highest form of encouragement. Today, we honor the dedication, enthusiasm, and spirited participation of our young parliamentarians. First, we will present participation certificates to all contestants.
And let me congratulate all the delegates of this youth parliament, students from 7 different schools. We are so much impressed with the way you came with your preparation. That too, the statistics, the in-depth analysis of the topic that was allotted to you. You did full justice to the roles that were given to you. Hearty congratulations. Irrespective of who is going to win the Youth Parliamentarian Award or Outstanding Youth Parliamentarian Award, I would say that each one of you in your own way have made significant progress by participating in this youth parliament. As I told you in the beginning, you are no more a passive citizen. You have just entered into the active citizen mode in a small way by analyzing and talking about some part of the issue that is concerned with the whole country or with the world. Let this journey continue. Don't stop it here. Now going back, when you see the newspaper next time, don't just pass by. Take a moment, read what is happening in the country. When there is a parliament in session, just sit and watch how the debates and discussions are going on. By this way, you'll slowly introduce yourself to the happenings of the country, and every happenings of the country has a direct or an indirect say in our day-to-day life. We cannot ignore uttering a very popular cliche saying politics is not my cup of tea. Whether you like it or not, we are all bound by the politics of our country, because the politicians make law, they make policies, and whatever policy, whatever law they make, we are directly influenced by that. So this platform, we hope, has offered you a chance to keep tab of what is happening in the country. At the same time, it has allowed you to prepare and come and present yourself in an articulate way. Because when the TV is covering you or when the YouTube is going live and so many students sitting here, 3-4 judges sitting and analyzing your marks, and your own fellow students in the opposition and in your side, it takes an amount of guts and courage to stand up and speak what you have prepared. So if you have demonstrated that, or even if you have put an effort to demonstrate that, that itself is a better version of yourself. You have become a point better minimum by participating in this. And that's why you all deserve one more round of applause and congratulations from everybody. Now the results will be announced shortly. We have done an analysis of your presentation. A few have got a small role, a few have got a big role. Few of you, even if it is small, you have done that well and you have created an impact. And nobody is a loser here. I would only say this. By participating in this, nobody is a loser. All of you are gainers for that appreciations. And once again, I want to thank your school management, your school principal, your school, your parents, as well as your school teachers who have sent you, who have prepared you or guided you to be part of this. And you made this day. We have celebrated the International Day of Democracy in one of the most constructive way by doing a mock parliament here. This simulation would do a lot of good in your life, and that's what we hope as organizers. I also thank Agaram team, starting from the coordinator of this event, Mr. Shyam, to every single participant, the administrative department, the faculty, everybody who has put their heart and soul to make this event a phenomenal success. Thank you. Now we'll go to the certificates distribution and prize distribution ceremony.
Arish, the Prime Minister. Adlin Hanishka, the Minister of Social Justice. Of Women and Child Development. N.S. Santosh, Minister of External Affairs. Nitin Karthikeyan, the Minister for Road Transport and Highways. Noora Veshkar, the Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change.
Pranavi SS, the Minister of Health and Family Welfare. Srinivas R, the Minister of New and Renewable Energy. Dhanushri T, the Minister of Steel and Mines. Prasanna K, the Minister of Human Resource Development. Afsha Sherin, the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Ritwik Nandan, the Minister of Defence. Shriram R, the Minister for Education and Skill Development. Nagasai Isha Tirunahari, the Minister of Commerce. Tanishka, the Minister of State Renewable Energy. Karmugilan, the Government MP.
Gopinath MS, the Government MP. Hardik V, the Government MP. Lohita Lakshmi Velanki, the Government MP. Vipraja Sakti RK, the Government MP. SM Mohammed Afraz, the Government MP. Pranita Balu, the Government MP. Abhinav, the new MP. Jai Vishnu, the Government MP. Pritika, the Government MP. Tripti Rajashekaran, the Government MP.
Anvika S, the Government MP. Yashika Selvi T, the Leader of Opposition. Lakshita K, the Opposition MP. Akash NK, the Opposition MP. Akash NK, the Opposition MP. Guhan K, the Opposition MP. PK Prahalya, the Opposition MP. Rohit S, the opposition MP. V.S. Santosh, the opposition MP. Nila P, the opposition MP. Kunalika P, the opposition MP.
Ashwita, the opposition MP. Jessie Sara, the opposition MP. Harini Swarna Lakshmi, the opposition MP. GM Sharon Martina, the opposition MP. K. Prithvik, the opposition MP. Purushottam, the opposition MP. Akul, the new MP. Riya, the new MP. Maya Muthukrishnan, the opposition MP. Siddharth, the opposition MP.
Pooja Anandamaran, opposition MP. Harish PS, the opposition MP. Rishit R. Sanghani, the opposition MP. And Ansika S, the opposition MP. And now, the winners of the title of Outstanding Youth Parliamentarian 2025 are GM Sherin Martina, the opposition MP from RD International School.
Round of applause. And the next, Lohita Lakshmi Bellanki, the government MP from Palaniyappa International Senior Secondary School.
Next we have SM Mohammed Afraz, the government MP from Velarigate Vidyalayam, Tiruchengood.
Next, we have Nagasai Isha Tirinahari, the Minister of Commerce from Parks Public School.
Followed by, we have Nitin Karthikeyan SR, the Minister for Road and Transport and Highways from Shri Nachammal Vidyavani Senior Secondary School.
And finally, from the People Prodigy, we have Hashini R, the Home Minister.
And last but not the least, we have Arish, the Prime Minister from Agaram Public School.
Congratulations to all the awardees.
Okay, I just want to explain the rationale behind this awards. Since the judges are from Agaram Public School, we thought the best way to judge the participants is from each school, whoever has scored the maximum. We have got a separate list of 1, 2, 3 and all. But we decided to give the best parliamentarian award based on the best scorer of each school. That's how each school got an award. So congratulations, you all deserve it. And I just want to add, as of now, I don't have a certificate or a medal. I want to give a special recognition to the boy from the Spark School. Please come forward. Yeah, give this boy a special round of applause. I was very much impressed with the way he presented his point at the same time when he gave feedback. So there is a special award coming to you. It's going to come through post. Anyway, congratulations. I want to recognize you on the stage. That's the reason I called. Thank you. Thank you so much once again to each one of you for participating in this.
Thank you, sir. To formally propose the vote of thanks, I now invite Mr. Shyam Sundar, Faculty of Political Science, to address the gathering.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of Agaram Public School, it is my privilege to extend heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made today's Inter-School Youth Parliament a memorable and a meaningful experience. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to the management of Agaram Public School for their constant encouragement and unwavering support. I am deeply grateful to our beloved Managing Director, Mr. Jnanapanditan Muthuswamy, whose guidance has been the backbone of this successful event. My heartfelt appreciation also goes to our ever-inspiring Vice Principal, Ms. Radhika, for her presence and constant motivation. A special word of thanks to Mr. Deepak Raja, our Administrative Officer, whose meticulous arrangement ensured the smooth conduct of this program. We are equally indebted to the faculty members of all participating schools, whose mentorship empowered the students to put forth their perspective with confidence, and also to the students who participated. You are indeed the heartbeat of today's event. Your performance, debates and discussions truly brought the Youth Parliament alive. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Department of Management, Ms. Sumita ma'am, Ms. Gayatri ma'am and Mr. Bhagirath sir for their coordination and valuable contributions to this program. Behind the scenes, every successful show has its artist. We owe a huge thanks to Suri Prabha ma'am and Martin sir, the creative minds who added color, life and the spirit to this event. I also extend my heart with my gratitude to all the supporting staff whose silent yet tireless contribution helped us run this program seamlessly. With gratitude in my heart, I thank each and one of you for making this event a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. And before we conclude, I'd like to extend a special word of appreciation to Mr. Shyam Sundar for his dedicated coordination and tireless efforts in organizing today's event. Behind every successful event is someone who worked quietly and relentlessly. Thank you, sir, for being that pillar of strength.
To conclude this momentous occasion, I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे